Okay, my name is Andrew Edward Sievola. I am the executive director of American Services Group. Robert Beard is the director of APC. So Robert Beard runs APC. My job is to make sure that Robert Beard gets what he needs to run that group. If there's anyone who is interested in participating in American peacekeeping communications mobile dispatch, send me an email with your name, your phone number, and your email address, and I will add you to the call list. We have a weekly call on Saturday. Every Saturday we meet at 2 p.m. Pacific. And anybody from any of the states who is willing to put the time in and run dispatch for their state, we're happy to have you guys attend these meetings. We are pursuing a grant right now, so this will be a paid position. It will be a highly paid position. The people that run dispatch for their state are required to be from that particular state, and the state is required to vet those people and put those people forward. But you will be paid by APC. Okay, all of the equipment that you guys need to run dispatch, the monitors, the laptops, the software, will all be provided by APC. Okay, we are looking at providing radios.
He's so fucking ugly.
To the states. And I think the last count to start out was a number of 2 per county. And that includes the SIM card renewal and the platform fees. So we are going to pay for everything. If you have an issue with a radio, we will take care of it so that the state does not put out any cash for communications. And I'll put my email in the chat. If you guys wish to participate in our weekly call on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific,
That's right.
please send me an email. And I yield to Robert. Thank you.
I have some ideas.
All right. Carl or David, your
mic's closed, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I just got my D10 about a week ago here, so I noticed that the time and the date is incorrect on it. I know these are obviously pre-programmed. I'm into the group. I'm APC 153. Is that something that I can get changed?
Yes. In the settings, you can go to the settings of your handheld.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath the settings of your handheld, there's going to be it's going to be under POC settings because it's getting time from your
PC.
From the POC. Go to your time zone and set your UTC time zone to where you reside.
Time zone, okay.
So Central Time on daylight savings time, it may be -6, 5.
-6, you said? Yeah.
Depends on where you're at. You have to look up for your region.
Oh, central. Yeah, that's fine. Now that I see where that's at. Okay. The other question. Yep. The other question I had was, now I see that I'm designated as APC 153, but I can't see myself in the all states talk around group. And obviously I'm probably not designated yet to be dispatcher, is that what you called it, where you can actually set up channels for the state and or group for the state that you're on and everything?
Let's mute.
So I'm just trying to figure out how I can set that too, or if I'm not supposed to set that and I just have to wait to have somebody communicate that responsibility to me or whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. The main thing we're gonna focus, if you guys can write your questions down as we're going through this, and mute your mics, then we'll kick off and go through all the settings for the POC side of the radio first, because that's what's allowing us to talk vast distances across the nation and the world without using RF. This is POC side of the radio stands for push to talk over speed. Hey, Andy, can you mute everybody's mic, please?
Yeah, yes. Hang on just a second here.
All right. Check, check.
Do you want me to do a screen share real quick on the what the buttons are on the radio, and then we could just go back to
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, can you see that? You can see it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, folks. The main button that we're going to work on for today is this green highlighted button on the side of yours. That's the push to talk for the POC side of the radio. That's the network side of this radio. That are what we will commonly refer to as the network side. That's using cellular service. Push POC stands for push to talk over cellular. For those that want to know what the acronym means, but so you have the push to talk button. The button directly beneath that is your analog radio push to talk. Beneath that is going to be your SK1 and SK2 button that are programmable. Then also you have your menu button, which is the green dots, up down menu arrows, the red end or back button, and then you also have two other all these are programmable with the exception of this dash line beneath the back or the end call key. If you notice on this particular product key, there's two buttons that are labeled 14. One is the asterisk button, one is the pound or ampersand button. So the asterisk button, if you notice, it says it switches POC and analog. If you have radios and you can follow along, if you turn your radio on and just keep the volume all the way down, the asterisk, when you press it on the very left-hand side, you'll see a little character moving from the top half of your radio to the bottom half of your radio. The screen's divided in half because the top half is POC, the bottom half is analog. When you do that, that's selecting which side of the radio is affected by the next character that's labeled 14, which is change the frequency mode or VFO from VFO to channel, which is the VFO is basically you can manually program a channel that's not saved into your radio to talk. So if you wanted to talk, you had two radios and you wanted to use them similar to CBs with your family, you could program a radio, set them up identically,
All state toss around.
be able to talk back and forth between those individuals that are programmed the same. But that's the gist of the buttons. If anybody has any questions on these buttons, if you notice that button number 13 says long press to collect frequency. That is actually auto frequency detect in the manual that we'll be going over here with the radio settings. I'm going to go through the radio manual manually on this screen so you can see it. For those that don't have a copy of the manual, Andy, if you want to post a copy of it up into the chat for those that want to download it, they can have a copy here. And I know there's one on the Peace Bridge Network under the APC comms channel. But at any rate, so the basics of the radio are relatively simple. For those that aren't familiar with radio communications and or how to navigate them, we're going to start with POC only. So if you have analog questions, please hold those. You can ask them at the end, but we're focusing on POC for the primary purpose of this video. And bear with me, I'm getting to. All right. So if you hit the menu key, sorry about that. You hit the menu key on your radio, the first menu option is work group, second one is group, third one is member. Channel setting will appear only if you have VHF enabled, which is when you're in mixed mode or analog only. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to switch over to POC so that we see only the POC settings in the menu. You'll notice that channel settings disappeared when I did that. So everything in the menu right now is either to program the handheld itself or to deal with POC setting. Within work mode, you have POC, analog, mix, and repeater. Repeater mode is something we don't ever use unless you're asked to use it. You can run mix mode if you so choose, analog only if you're using it as a CB walkie-talkie around the house or on the farm. If you're using both modes, you just use mix mode. But for the purpose of this call, we're running a POC. So within POC mode, when you go to groups menu option, this will show every group that your radio is a member of. Some folks on this call earlier, we were talking before the call, they only have a single group here. When your radio is fully programmed, when we get all the department platforms programmed, you will have default groups for the command structure, which comes from the Federation down to your local assembly. All of those groups will show up in your radio. Your radio will be programmed to your default assembly group or your county group, depending on if your county's standing at that time. But most foremost, we're going to work on states, departments, and then the state, whoever's running dispatch for the state, will work with their counties to get the county sub-departments created so that they can work on getting. So, but to enter any group, once you go to group menu on your radio, you enter the group. If you don't want to talk on All States Talk Around, you want to talk on your assembly group, whichever one that you have selectable in your group list, you can select any of them, select and hit enter group. You can also monitor the group. Something that I noticed somebody said earlier is when they key up their radio, they're able to be heard, but when the individual tries to respond, they're not able to hear them respond. So either they're monitoring a channel that is coming through their radio, but they're not selected to actively transmit on that channel. So that is where you would select to go into that group so you can communicate with the individuals that are in that group. So if I wanted to go into the Louisiana General Assembly, I enter group, and then you'll see it changes right here on the top. If I wanted to set that group with a quick key, because when we have these radios programmed and operational, there's going to be a lot of groups in here, and I will show you for an example. Let's go back to All States Talk Around because there's a lot of radios in that one. If I go to member, I can look at every group member that's a part of All States Talk Around. If you see the little person silhouette on the left, there's blue. And I want to keep going because I'm sure there's not a lot of people that have their radios on. And you see the little gray guy. Everybody that's silhouette is gray, their radio is offline. But anybody that's blue, that radio is online, which means you can key up and talk to them. So that to make a private call to that individual, you would go to the group member under the member menu and select the person you want to talk to individually. Once you highlight them, you can key your radio up and you'll start talking to that individual. You notice that my channel changed and now APC 11. This will stay there while you're communicating.
Can you guys see Robert's display? Is that full screen for you
Yes.
guys? It's full screen?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so you'll notice when I select an individual and I key up, that all states talk around that's scrolling went away and my radio call sign came up. That means I'm making a private call to that individual. There's an automatic timeout. If you don't communicate and key up your radio to continue that conversation, it'll default back to your last group that you were entered into. So just remember that. That's a way you can dial up individuals within a specific group. Now this group member option here changes based on which group you're selected in. So if I'm in All States Talk Around and I go to the menu and go to member group member, everybody that's part of All States Talk Around will show up. When I change active groups and I enter in another group, this list changes. And I'll give you an example by using a quick key here. I go to APC operations and go to member and go look at the group members in there. So there's a not as many members in that particular group. So since we talked about it, when you're in the member group or the specific group menu and you want to select a group, you can enter the group, you can remove or add monitor, or you can do quick call. Quick call is these two buttons here are SK1, SK2, and then your menu buttons on the top of your radio can be edited as a quick call. So to edit your quick calls is where you go into the menu. Let's say I want to make the Louisiana, let's see here, militia group. I want to change the quick call key for that. So when I select quick call, you have each of these buttons to select. You can make SK1 the quick call, SK2 the quick call, the menu button, the up arrow, the down arrow, exit button, or P1, which is this little dash line. P1 is this dash right here. So let's say I make the exit button.
There's
for
some
the
drinks.
Militia, I want to select it. It said success. Now it's programmed. So if I hit quick key, hit this button right here, and now when I exit out of here, I'm going to be in the militia.
Riley, shut up.
So once these radios are programmed, quick call is going to be your friend to have quick, accessible groups to be able to, you know, somebody calls you from dispatch and you're working a specific scene or whatever the scenario is, whoever you, to be able to create your own talk around group, you may have a group that your state or your sub department in the county creates for that purpose, which is called a TAC channel, talk around channel. Those will be created, and then you can quickly select those groups by creating.
Ready?
You're not using the dispatch channel.
Okay, hi, Teddy. Hi, sweetie. Where's all the cats? Figaro.
Okay,
Please
please go to mute, everybody. If you'll please put your mic on mute, please.
All right. So the friend members, this is a list that has to be edited and created by your dispatcher. So if you've got specific people that you contact frequently, You can ask them to create a friends list for that purpose. And they will populate those particular users in there so that you're not having to scroll through dozens, potentially hundreds of groups to try to find an individual group or user. So the POC settings is where you can select a lot of different things that deal with the push to talk side of the radio for the network. You have a profile setting. This is based upon, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're using earphones, you'll set it to earphone. If you're indoors or outdoors, standard is kind of the default setting and should work in most cases unless you're using a remote mic or earphone. You have mic mode. There's low, middle, and high. Middle is the default. If somebody at dispatch or on the other end of the radio is telling you that sounds like you're screaming, turn your mic to low. If they say they can hardly hear you, turn it to high. That's just adjusting the receiver sensitivity on the microphone so that on the other end of the radios, they can clearly understand you. Power save config. I don't have full disclosure from the manufacturer yet on this. What I do know is sleep switch and super power save. Leave them off. Don't turn them on. It can negatively affect the radio's function based on what the manufacturer told me. In power save, there's several levels in here. They haven't told me which each of these are. I would just recommend leaving it automatic for now until we have full understanding of what it's actually power saving. SIM select is erroneous for this radio because it only has a single SIM card. So if you try to select SIM 2, it's going to tell you invalid. Auto SIM select also doesn't work because it only has one SIM card. If it had 2 SIM card slots in it, it would automatically detect which slot was active with a card and select that card to boot up to. The beep button. This beep button is your key up for push to talk under POC settings. So when you have this button beep on, when you key your radio, you'll hear an audible beep. I suggest everybody turn that on their radio so you don't talk before your radio is transmitting. Once the beep is audibly heard and stops, then you can start speaking. That lets you know you're not clipping your communications. Let's see here. Time zone. We kind of went over that earlier in the beginning. Time zone is where you can make sure that what you see on the top of your display is accurately corrected based on universal time clock. If you don't know what your setting is, Google it. It'll tell you for your time zone. Sound quality, standard and high definition. This is something that I do not suggest to play with unless your dispatch and whoever's in charge is letting you know they're requesting you to change. This is audio codecs, so one's 4K and one is 8K. If there's a mismatch, there's a potential for having bad audio connections between dispatch and or other handheld devices if you adjust that setting. Let's see here. APN auto config. Again, this is something, don't mess with it currently because the radios come pre-programmed with SIM card that is hard-coded and the radio is hard-coded to a specific APN. So don't turn it on. It's not going to do anything. And that's pretty much the POC settings of the radio. Dispatcher. The dispatcher will have an option to send you text messages. This is where that message list would be, and you can see all the messages that you have. You can delete every message at one time once you've read them and you don't need them anymore, or you can go into the individual message list and you can read it. You can also select it again and have an option to see who it came from, so and what time, and you can also delete it, individual messages. So that's the dispatcher menu option. There's no way to respond to dispatch other than keying up your mic. Phone book is for phone calls. We had a brief conversation about this before we started recording. Currently, the devices do not come equipped with making cellular calls because the SIM card that is in it is considered an IoT or machine-to-machine device SIM card, which means that it is not capable of making voice calls. I'm told via the manufacturer that if you had a SIM card that had voice enabled plan on it, you could make phone calls. However, we don't know how that will affect the system as it's currently preset. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you're really, really brave. Shouldn't do anything other than not work or work. But that's something that's an interesting tool of this radio, that it can actually make phone calls if you have the right SIM card activated for it. But what it comes preloaded with is just an IoT to be able to talk to dispatch and other machines or radios. All right, call log is just the call history of your phone book settings. Settings is the radio functionality itself. So you have backlight, which is the screen, voice prompt. If you turn your radio on and you hear it announcing whose radio and what group channel you're in, that's the voice prompt. You can enable or disable that when you turn your radio on, or it'll announce or not announce. Backlight, this is where you set the backlight for the radio when you're using the radio, and then the call backlight. So backlight for standard radio functions is either continuous or 30 seconds. Continuous, this is going to leave the screen on continuously, which will consume a lot more battery life, obviously, or you can set your radio screen to stay on for up to 30 seconds. Backlight is on or off for if you're making a phone call. Beep, this beep here is specifically for the radio buttons. If you like to hear the keys beeping because you like to hear that, you can turn it on. I personally don't, so mine's off. Earphone recognition, automatic or manual. If you have this in manual and you have an earphone or a remote speaker mic connected to your radio, you have to come into this setting. It'll recognize it as plugged in and set it to earphone or remote speaker mic. This is a setting that the manufacturer has highly recommended to leave in automatic, because if you're not accustomed to programming your radio by hand and you set it up to use one way, and for some reason you take the earphone off or speaker mic off, your radio, you won't be able to hear or transmit through it audibly, because it's going to be looking for what you have it manually set to. So for earphone recognition, that's recommended to leave in automatic mode. Factory reset, it's self-explanatory. Wouldn't encourage it. Your radio will not work if you do that. Receive priority. This you can set whether you want POC to be priority. So if your radio is picking up transmissions, the microphone or the speaker on your radio has to know who to let through, so that you can hear them without being garbled. That is where you would set whether you want the POC priority or you want analog priority or both. Currently, I have mine set to both, just because I've been playing with the VHF side of my radio to see if I can pick up any repeaters. But if you're only going to use the POC side of your radio, that it's priority. If not, you can leave it at both. It's not going to hurt anything. If you start having issues where you're getting multiple transmissions and you can't understand anything, that's when you're going to need to change that setting. I know some folks are only running in POC mode. All right, so repeat volume, POC volume and analog volume. If your radio is to be running in repeater mode, which we're not going to be using right at this particular moment, this is where you'd set the volume so that you would be able to hear what's being repeated through your radio via the POC and or the analog side. All right. Repeat sound is either on or off. So you can, if your radio's in repeater on and you have repeat sound on, you're going to hear the transmissions as they're repeating through your radio. If it's off, you won't hear them. I believe that was the last setting for that. Okay, GPS location. If you need to find out where you are located, this will tell you your Latin longs. For some reason, mine is not populating right now. So let me keep my mic and see what's going on. Interesting. My current position disappeared. And then within radio, most of your GPS locations will have information there. It'll tell you what satellite you're on, and you give your latitude and longitude. For some reason, mine's not showing it at the moment. All right, account info. We kind of went through this earlier with the gentleman having an issue. Account info is going to show you your APC radio number, also referred to as your user account. Software version of the radio itself. You'll have also module versions. This information is only pertinent to if you want to run a voice activated SIM card in your machine, you have to have the proper version of software in the radio for that to function. Forgive me for, I have to look at my notes in the book really quickly for that.
May I real quick, Robert? Hey,
Sure.
you guys, were you able to access the manual that I posted in the chat? Were you able to download that? You go back in the chat a little bit further?
I was. Yes.
You were? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so you must be running version 1.08.01.05 or higher for the voice activated SIM cards to work in a radio handheld. So in my particular radio, I have version 1.04, so mine would not be functional with the voice activated SIM card currently without upgrading that. So let's see what else. You also find your IMEI number, which is your device hardware number, and your ICC ID, which is the SIM card number of your SIM card in your radio, and then POC version. So analog version. These are the firmwares that's running in the the modules inside the radio. So that's everything under the radio information. But other than that, anybody have questions or specific issues that they have issues with?
When is the amateur class? That was a little bit too advanced for me.
Okay, so
Seriously.
to answer your class, if you need, all right, if you need to talk to somebody in a specific group, you're going to go to menu, group, find the group you want to talk to, select it, hit select, and hit enter group. That puts you in a different group that you want to be in.
Okay.
If the group and group members are not available on your radio to select, that's not something that you can manually add. That's done at the dispatch level through the either the dispatch console or the department platform.
Yeah. All states. Thank you.
Right.
Hey, Annette, Marion County, Florida, I think you were next.
Thank you. Our question is, how do we get that clip-on thing on the back of the radio that we saw?
It's not easy. You need a Chinese screwdriver. Sorry.
We don't have one like that, though, the little toggle.
So yours didn't come with a battery clip?
Nope, nope. Yeah, we have 3 that did not.
Okay.
It's a separate piece you have to add.
It should have been in the box. Well, it depends on when it was ordered. How long ago did you order it?
I guess about 4 months ago.
Yeah, it should have came in the box. If it didn't come in the box, reach back out to Peacekeeping Task, the Peace Bridge Network folks, and let them know that you didn't get the battery clip.
Thank you. And then one other question. So if we want to create a group for Florida, AKA we're on Florida,
Yep.
how do we go about knowing what everybody's numbers are so that we can include them? We just have
We're
to call
working
on a cell phone?
So everybody's radio, if you know the people, everybody's radio, this is their number right here.
Yes.
Okay. If you know them, and I'm just going to use Louisiana group because that's what mine's programmed to. So I'm going to go into a Louisiana General Assembly group and enter that group. So now I can go to group member, and that's going into my Louisiana group member. So everybody that's assigned to the Louisiana General Assembly group is within this particular group member option. But
So
that's
it'll automatically know to include us with everybody on Florida? Like by itself, it'll know that?
Yeah. So because when the software is defined at the dispatch level, every user that is in the Florida Assembly will be a member of all the Florida Assembly groups.
Extraordinary. Thank you.
Paula Garcia on Louisiana, you're next. Paula Garcia.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry. I thought I hadn't unmuted. Can you fix the way friend is spelled?
It's been requested.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
David Custer on Lincoln County, Missouri.
Yeah, hi, thanks. You mentioned the software version earlier when you were going through the settings. Did you say version 1.8.01.04 would be the minimum you would need for call capabilities, voice call
No,
capabilities?
0.5 or higher.
0.5 or higher. Okay. All right. So probably most of the radios coming out of Peacebridge Network within the last week or so probably don't have that feature, I take it then, right?
I can't confirm or deny that because my radio is a few months old and it's not on the current version. It's
okay. And then you said as far as and I think Annette asked earlier, as far as like being able to make a group or whatever, you have to be like either the state dispatcher or something like that for your state to be able to program that in, right? Including a title for
administrator dispatch console. So
okay, gotcha.
those administrators are over that particular I shouldn't say console. It is the console included in it, but the dispatch department help me here, Andy. Department platform. So the department platform, there will be administrators that have access to go in and add groups, move members from one group to the next. You know, because as people get elected, the assemblies get standing, you're going to have your own general assemblies. You're going to have your own each of your 4 pillars. I'm sure you're probably going to want to create a group for so that those individuals can communicate in their own talk around group and not affect everybody else. So right now we're working on specifically command structure so that when in an emergency environment, it's going to be similar to the emergency broadcast system in that if somebody keys up on those particular channels from a dispatch, it's going to go to everybody.
Okay, and then my last question was when you mark a member inside of a group on the what does that do?
I'm sorry, when you mark?
Yeah. So if I go into a group and if I go into the all states talk and go down and I'll choose APC 136 for instance, and if I select it, it gives you a chance to mark or quit call.
That's a good question. That's something that I personally missed in it. I do know the quick call is what you can set. This button right here, which is SK2, is the way you can program quick. That's your quick call button. So if I hit that, it's going to ask me which call do I want to recall. So you can set users to quick call. I'm going to have to find out personally on the mark.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, thank you. All right, I'll yield.
Karen on Washington, you're next. Karen on Washington.
Thank you. Thank you. So just for clarification, if those of us on Washington who now are part of this, if we want to create a group, we have to contact who exactly?
Currently, the APC, that's what Andy was asking for those that on y'all's assemblies that want to partake in the dispatch side of the software and help administrate for your own assemblies. That's what we're looking for folks for to help with that, so that we don't get overburdened with trying to do the whole country. We can delegate, everybody in your state will be going to your representative. And I don't think Andy said it earlier. We're going to be asking that the assemblies are nominating the members. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, for those positions.
Yeah, it's we are looking for people on that particular state to run dispatch, and these are people that are going to be vetted and approved by their state. They will be held accountable to their state for their performance, and we will pay them through APC. So we provide everything, we pay the people, provide them with all the equipment, and it's the state's responsibility to put the people that they want forward to run dispatch. And these need to be trusted people. If you have somebody that's got an axe to grind or is not following decorum or causing problems, we don't need them. We don't need any drama. We just need some good people that are willing to spend the time studying the information that Robert has put together in regards to the platform and learning the platform, manning the platform. We're going to start out with one or two people per state, and then that's obviously going to be expanded upon as we grow. But our goal is to get a dispatch, an account, a department account for the state set up in each state, so that they could go through, they can manage their users. We're setting up the structure. We can assist with forming the groups and getting them the information that they need to man that dispatch. And I yield on that. Did I answer? Is that what you need to know, Karen?
Yes, it is. And I have one more question. In the effort to learn more, when will the recording be available and how will I get it?
The recordings for radio education and dispatch education will be posted on the pktfnews.org website.
Thank you. I yield.
Yeah, just like the liaisons, how you could go through the liaison training and access the recordings on that. That's how this will be set up. Thank you. Philip Trice on Van Zant, Texas.
Yes, I'm so green at this that you cannot believe it. I've had my unit, I said earlier, for a year. I noticed on the top of my unit it says KO Tom. I bought it from them, but I noticed on the top of your unit it says APC PKTF. Can I take this? And I was working with Marvin a couple of weekends ago, and he looked at my unit to see what was wrong with it because it wasn't communicating anything at all. And I found out that my SIM card had expired, but that is now working. But by that standard, my channel 1 is 441.12500, and I believe that's different than yours. How am I going to get on the same page that y'all are on? Because I jumped the gun and bought this way too early. Do I send it in and get a new one, or are we not buying any more from KO Tom? Are they selling them just to you guys to distribute to all of us? I yield.
Okay, Philip, what we're going to do is there'll be a link, two links posted. One link is to renew the SIM card, and the other link will be to purchase a membership or a, register on the Real PPT platform.
Okay, I went to your website while you were talking because you were going so fast, I couldn't catch anything. I tried to take notes, I tried to write it down, but I wasn't able to capture everything. So I'm going to have to look at this over and over and over. Anyways, I went to the website on the pktf.news. I can't find anywhere where it talks about the radios. What am I missing?
That's on Peace Bridge Network, Robert, isn't it? That's where all our information is on the website.
Okay, way on the bottom, lower right. I see it. Okay, Peace Bridge Network.
Yes.
So that's where I would pay to get the I think you called it a Real PTT, whatever that stands for.
Yeah, Real Push to Talk is what that stands for.
Okay, so all right, I'm there now. I just I pay it, but I don't see where I can pay anything else. It just says leave a comment.
No, we've been in communication with KOTOM every night. They just sent us a link that we will for the SIM card, and then Kathy Kreidler will get the link for the SIM card and the membership to Real Push to Talk platform. Get that posted. We'll have that posted on Peace Bridge Network.
All right.
Are you good, Philip?
I left my email in the chat. I left my IMEI number. Sorry?
Well,
Sorry?
okay, so that's all going to be done when you purchase the SIM card renewal and the membership to Real Push to Talk. I think you'll have to enter that
So
when you
I have
purchase
to
it.
renew my again. I guess I'm
When
not. I'm sorry.
was the last time you renewed your SIM card?
Last week.
Okay, well then it would just be a matter of purchasing a membership on the Real Push to Talk platform.
So I just need to come back here every week until I find that information.
Yeah, it's Kathy Kreidler is on the call right now, so I'm sure she's hearing this, but we'll get those links posted on the Peace Bridge Network at pktfnews.org.
Andy, I'll put the email in the chat as well. And the website is down. We're doing some maintenance and we're going to add all this and then open. Oops, I think I muted myself when I was talking. Did any of that come out?
No, it didn't, Kathy.
Oh, okay. So the website's down at the moment. We're just doing some maintenance and adding some of these links. So give us a day or two. And I'll put the website in the chat and then also the PeaceBridge email, which is mine, in the chat also, so people can email me.
Okay, Gwen, coordinator on Terra Canada.
Thank you. I have a quick question for you. I live in an area that's a rural area, and we don't always have a bunch of networks available. I'm wondering, with these, is there a possibility of taking a cell phone, turning it into a hotspot, and creating a network for the walkie-talkies so we can create a transmission? I yield.
That's a great question.
Yeah, we just run into spotty coverage. Like some days I can turn that on and I can connect. Today it's a no-go. So I'm just sort of trying to find a backup plan if possible. Anyhow, I yield.
May I?
I don't have the answer. I know in the material from the manufacturer, it says Wi-Fi is a capability. However, there's not a menu option for Wi-Fi, so that would have to be programmed via the radio programming software, which I don't currently have a copy of yet. I noticed somebody in the chat menu asked about the software as well. Eventually, that will be disseminated to the individuals that are helping with the Peace Bridge Network and APC comms, so that in the event we need to program stuff like that, that's going to be a functional way to do that.
Thank you.
Hey, anybody else? Please raise your hand. David Custer on Lincoln County, Missouri.
Yeah, speculating a little bit, but to answer that woman's question, wouldn't whether or not she'd be able to set up a Wi-Fi hotspot depend on the SIM, that the carrier for the SIM, the carrier network for the SIM, or not? Or is yeah, I know you guys didn't necessarily have a straightforward answer on that, but that's a really good question too as well.
No,
Yeah.
because if you understand how cellular companies work, the APN stands for Access Point Network. It's just an SSID that the radio is connecting to, just like Wi-Fi.
Okay, great. Glad you explained that. Thank you. Yeah, because I enabled that feature on the radio too, APM. So, okay. Thank you.
Charlie Evangeline on Louisiana, you're next.
Yeah. Okay, so I just got my radio in last week, and I'd say probably about 80% of the time it has no service. And when I go through the menu for the group, there's nothing there other than all states talk. And when I go to member, now I have something in here on both of those now, because I haven't been able to get anything on either one of those. But I have one little bitty bar of service. So, I mean, are we going to get better service out of these, or is there something wrong with this radio?
How's your cell phone service in where you're currently at?
Let's see. I currently have full service.
What who's your provider?
What is that? AT&T Cricket.
Cricket? Okay.
Yeah.
So cell service is great on your phone, but not on the radio.
Nothing on the radio.
All right. I'm gonna put my email in the chat. Send me your information. That's a question that I've got to get with the manufacturer.
Okay. I yield.
Inez Vest on Florida, you're next. Inez Vest on Florida, you're next.
Am I unmuted? Yes, I am.
Yeah, now
Okay.
you're.
My radio has me APC 83 California, but I'm Florida. How do I change California to Florida on the radio?
We'll take care of that.
Okay. And let me see, anything else I need to know? No, I guess that's about it. I'd like to be Florida instead of California.
May
Thank
I, Robert?
Yes.
Okay, we've got some people that we're working with on Florida. We will get them set up with their own department platform and migrate the Florida users onto that platform.
Perfect.
Okay, Jennifer O on Nevada.
Hi, I was curious. When I go into the GPS location, it never posts anything. And then in the chat, that's happening to a handful of people. So how come so many of us don't get anything when we click on GPS location? Thanks.
Great question.
Yeah, we would have to, if I may, Robert, we would have to find out, you're on Nevada?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, what will, if we can, I think we've got somebody from the PKTF that is going to be set up with the department platform for Nevada. And then we can get you migrated onto that department and get you set up. But we would have to look at your user account to make sure that the GPS function is checked on your radio. And then I think you can access that at position info. Yeah, you should be able to, and you're not getting that on your radio when you go to the display and you scroll through the functions and you go to GPS, it's not giving you a longitude and latitude coordinates.
Correct. It
Yeah,
just stays blank. I'm not sure how much that's showing right now, and that doesn't change. It just stays this way.
does it look like my screen?
Almost. Yeah, it says satellite number. So it's actually a little bit different than yours.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a D9 or a D10?
The D10 and the version is version 1.08.01.02.
Okay.
Excuse me, someone just said in the chat that he went outside and it populated for him.
And it is GPS. That could also.
Some strong interference inside their building, then that's for sure.
Well, GPS, that's not uncommon though. You take a GPS unit into, put it underneath a bowl in your house on your counter, it'll lose signal.
All right, thank you. I haven't tried that outside. I appreciate this tutorial, but again, yeah, you did go way too fast through all of this for a lot of us who have no idea, and this is our first time dealing with these radios, and so I'll try that when I'm outside of the house. And then I had another question. I appreciate learning. So when you're looking at the members, when it's blue, that means that they are active on the radio, and gray means they're not. But what does it mean when they're blue with an exclamation point? Thank you.
Believe that's when you mark them. They turn with an exclamation mark on there.
Interesting, because I haven't done that. So okay, thanks.
No, when you mark them, they show up with a you see the little asterisk or star next to them, so it looks like it may be set as a favorite. If I was a guessing person.
Thank you. I may have mistakenly done that as I was just trying to learn it myself.
Mm-hmm. Right, but yes, the blue indicates that their radio is online. That user's radio is live. Gray is it's not online. So if you try to communicate with them, you're not going to get a response.
For now, I yield. Thanks you so much.
Mm-hmm.
David Custer on Lincoln County, Missouri. You have your hand up. Do you have another question?
I'm sorry, I forgot to take it down. I yield. I'm sorry.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Robert Beard? Please raise your hand, please. Okay, Richard Ernest on Illinois.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. My question is about the same thing about the groups. Because I know you just said that if it's blue, it means that their radio is actually turned on and online. Does it show them in the group? No matter what group I'm looking at, if that radio is online, like if I'm in the Illinois general group, but somebody else is in the All States Talk Around group, will it show up as them being in the Illinois group as being online or offline, or it won't show them in that group at all?
No, so whatever group you're actively selected in, so right now I'm in All States Talk Around. If I change, or I'm sorry, I'm in Louisiana General Assembly. If I change mine to All States Talk Around and go to member and go to group member, only the members in All States Talk Around are going to be populated. You're only going to see the people in that group member selection to the active group that you have selected.
Thank you. I yield.
Okay, when you're done speaking, please take your hand down. Jimmy Fulton on Washington.
Evening, everybody. Just, I may have missed it. On the monitoring and setting up our new radios, what is the exact procedure for setting up our new radios? I yell.
So are you requesting to be set up with the department platform?
Yes.
Okay, I'll put my name in the chat. Anybody who wishes to work in dispatch and manage the department platform for your state, okay? You have to be approved by your state to manage the department platform for your state. Send me an email and I will add you to our weekly call on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific, and we'll get you set up with your own department platform and migrate the users onto your platform for you to manage. And then Kathy Kreidler, you sent out an email to a bunch of people asking them for some information in regards to the APC number. Could you speak to that, Kathy, please?
Sure. Everybody whose email that I had that was on my distribution list, I requested to receive some information to put into a spreadsheet that's going to be kept with the APC folks and then also distributed on your, whoever's the person that's the dispatch person. But anyway, it was just name, email, phone number, emergency contact, any health issues. What else did I ask? The APC number, because I have a very incomplete spreadsheet right now and I'm trying to populate all the information for Andy and Robert just to help them out with that. So I think that was it. But it was mainly just information that we can have, you know, if you have a title just for your state that you're on. So they have all the information in case of emergency is basically it. Address, phone number, if I didn't say that. So, and I've been getting a lot of responses in, Andy. So I'm just filling out the spreadsheet and then I'll send it off to you guys when I have it done. And
Yeah,
then one
you.
other thing, there's people that have personal radios, like for family members, like I do. So if that's the case too, you bought some extra ones, just let us know so we can mark that down. That it's yours, that it's for a family member, just so we have record of
I
that.
can see you talking with your boo because he's smiling from ear to ear. And
We have a hot mic. Anyway, that was it. I yield.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Jimmy, are you good?
Yeah, I think so. Because, you know, there's only 3 of us right now that's got the radios for Washington. And so, you know, I have to talk to the other, Karen and Dave, and see if they would want to maintain the dispatcher. Yeah, so we still have to settle that part of it. Yeah, but I'll do that later. It's just getting the radio set up so we can start testing, so we can determine if it's going to be a feasible application that we can use with the whole state. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, if you got people like we have Kenny Fisher, Marshall on Michigan, he's former military with a comms background. He's helping out Michigan. But what we're looking for is for somebody to just have one specific job, and that job be dispatch, and that will be a paid position. It will be a highly paid position. And I yield on that.
Thank you. We can yeah, try to do a little recruiting, but I'll talk to Karen and Dave and see what they recommend. They may have somebody already in mind. I yield. Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. Lily on Texas, you're next.
Yes, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, Lila.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, hello, Americans. Yes, I have a question. Y'all have a APC PKTF radio, and I have a KAYOTOM radio. Is my radio not compatible with your APC PKTF? And I do have a 10.
It's still compatible. Those are just labels that we've recently begun to place on those radios as we ship them out. So if you have a D10, then you're good. It just has a different label on it. That's all.
Okay, do these radios work off a satellite as well?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that, Lila.
Do these radios work on a satellite as well?
Well, I mean, they work over push to talk over internet, or you can use them analog, which is VHF or UHF frequencies, and you can. There's a way to use the D10 as a repeater. So if you were to have two or three radios, you could turn one into a repeater, or that's for an emergency situation, or you can find a repeater in your area and go from very high frequency or ultra high frequency channels and have that converted as a bridge. It's a bridge repeater to a cell tower and pick it up. And we can also do that the other way around. We can go from the push to talk platform through a repeater, a bridge to a VHF or UHF channel. And I think Robert, correct me if I misunderstand this, but this is how we are going to connect with the de facto municipalities and agencies is through a bridge repeater to their channel.
Correct. That's the initial.
I have another question. Thank you. I do have another question on the radio. How do we you went too fast? I have to agree with some participants. You went so fast, and I'm still crawling on this. But how do we do a friend member? How do we get to a friend member to where we can just click off a member or communicate with a member on the APCs? And we don't have their APC numbers. How do we create an APC of all of our members according to our state? So we can have them recorded in our radios. I guess what I'm trying to say, the contacts.
Are you trying to figure out how do you get group access to different group members?
Contact, because we don't have the contacts. Well, I'm just speaking for me. I don't have contacts on the APC numbers for the assembly members. And how would we get to the radio to put our APC numbers for our contacts so we can contact them or contact us, whether it be a friend of friend or just a friend member or a quick call.
Checking out through this particular radio or just a contact list for your local assembly?
Particular this radio right there, the radio.
So what Andy was talking about earlier is when your state's going to have its own department, and in that department there's going to be an administrator of that department, which that's what we're looking for is dispatch members for.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, I do understand what you're saying. Okay,
right.
I understand. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lila. I have Jennifer O on Nevada next. Jennifer O on Nevada.
Thank you. And so I wanted clarification. So as we all default to the all states talk around, so that means whenever I talk on that, that's only to that group, correct?
Correct.
Okay, because part of the thing that I was thinking was fantastic about having a radio like this is being able to reach out to local people near me. Let's say while I'm traveling with my private plates, there's a traffic stop. It'd be nice to be able to use this as a local network. So then that's something I need to set up within my own state to see who has the radios and just establish that way, correct?
So once every state's department is set up and we know whose radios in which states, you're going to automatically be moved. Just like, I'll give you an example. We're going to use my radio, for example. I have All States Talk Around. That's the default group channel that the radio powers up in. That can be selected in the profile on the management platform. So once these radios are set up for your default departments, your radio will default to your default department. For example, if I wanted to go to the Louisiana militia, I can select that channel. It'll stay on that channel until I power my radio off. So right now I have the militia channel active. So if I key up anybody that's listening right now, it shows that there's 0 active members. That's what that little parentheses is right there. But if there was somebody in the militia channel currently active with a radio on, it'll show me how many there are there. And if I key up, they'll hear what I say. Within your local department or your whatever state you're on, let's just use Michigan. If they're currently actively using it this way, they have their users and their department set up already. So if I want to talk to somebody specifically, instead of talking to the whole militia assembly in Louisiana, I can go to group member, because I'm in the militia group, and find the specific user I want to talk to, key up and talk directly to that individual. Does that make sense?
That does, thank you. We just need to build out more, of course, across all of our states. And then I would hope in the future if there can be additional training on how we can manually set up these radios for our own local repeaters for where we all are in case there's that emergency when the network goes down.
Right. So we're going to have another training for the VHF side of the radio because it's a lot more complex because you have to physically set it yourself without the software. So these are pre-programmed from when they're ordered. I have 16 channels in here. 350 is not a workable channel. If you try to key up on 350, it's going to tell you invalid frequency or frequency error. So got to be in the 400 range or the 140-ish, 136 to 174 range for VHF. But yeah, so we're going to do another training for analog side of the radio because it's a lot more intense as far as nerding out on it. So this is where we want to have people that have somewhat kind of experience to understand how to set it. That way we can program the channels for your regions. They'll have an understanding on whose repeaters are where. There's places that we can find on the internet. Ham radio operators publish their repeaters online. If there's other repeaters online that are like the de factos, and they'll allow us to create a channel on theirs and trunk into theirs, that's great. If not, we'll set up a bridge that'll allow that, and that's a few steps down the road though.
And that'll be my last question at the moment with the channels. Sometimes I do accidentally do the arrow button and it switches the channels from what I think it's 1 to 16. What implication is that when I do that?
You're just changing the frequency that analog channel is listening to and transmitting on. Like changing a channel on your TV.
Okay, so it's possible I can be picking up things on somebody else outside of our network's analog channel if I happen to be on the correct frequency?
Yeah.
All right, thank
so if you
you.
notice, yeah, I'm gonna touch on it briefly. If you notice beneath this middle line, that's everything beneath that middle line, is the analog side of the radio on the screen. Those little green boxes, W stands for Y. There's a bunch of little icons that'll pop up here. Each of those icons are specific frequency settings for that channel. They can either make it work or not make it work. So, like I said, the analog side of the radio is going to be a whole lot more in depth, and it's probably going to be more catered to those that are going to be programming the radios, because these are pre-programmed channels that are in the radio. You can't affect those. There is this option if you press and hold this button right here. It'll go to frequency detecting mode. The manufacturer tells me if you put your radio on that mode, and it's going to listen, and it's going to sit and listen. If somebody transmit on a frequency this radio can hear and lock onto, it will automatically clone that channel, and then you'll be able to listen and talk on it. But most repeaters have subtones and digital codes, or both, one or the other, or other specific settings that will prevent just standard listening, kind of like a old school scanner.
And then, excuse me if I may, I'll try to have this be the last one. So on the top white bar of my screen, I see a little eye information, and then there's a red bullseye, and then there's a little envelope. What does that mean? I don't know how to access that.
Okay, red envelope, that sounds like you got mail from dispatch. So if you go to dispatcher and message list, do you have any messages?
Well, thank you. I just realized that particular way to get there. Thanks.
Yep.
Are you good, Jennifer?
Yes, I'll yield. Thanks again.
Thank you. Inez Vest on Florida, you're next. Inez Vest.
Hi there. I've been trying to find where I can access GPS, and I can't find the pathway. Can you help me?
You hit menu. How many menu options does show up at the top?
Well, okay.
Menu.
Select menu. It says 1 of 12. Now I don't know how to change those though.
Okay, so that up and down arrow in the middle. Hit up
Yes.
arrow.
Okay, up arrow, quick call and mark.
No, it
And
should
it
be
doesn't
just in
go
the
any farther.
So when you go to menu, it says 1 of 12. You have work mode, group, member, channel settings showing.
Okay, but which one of those do I go to?
You hit the up arrow on the, that's your main menu. So hit up arrow, you're going to go up.
Ah, GPS location. Okay, thank you. Bye. I yield.
Okay.
Thank you, Inez. Ronald Frack on Illinois. Ronald Frack, you're next.
I thought maybe if you could touch briefly on proper battery maintenance, things we should do or not do. I yield.
Okay, so in the manual, and this comes from Kale Tom as well as Bobby, when you got your radio, you should have plugged your radio in, turned it on, and allowed it to fully discharge. If you haven't done that, let your batteries completely discharge, meaning the radio dies. If you plug it in until the light turns green, leave it that way for several hours beyond it turning green, ideally about 4 to 5 hours. Do that 3 times. That will condition your battery so that you'll get at least 2.5 days out of it.
Okay, thank you.
I run my radio in mix mode like this, so both transmitters are active and listening. Currently, I have my screen set to continuous, so I don't have to keep waking it up. And then I have it set on like 20-second screen backlight time, but most time it's just sitting over there listening. So most of the time I get 3 days off the charge.
I don't know how to raise my hand. So can I just raise my hand?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
Introduce yourself, please.
I'm sorry?
Please introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Nancy Ventura, and from Florida. So I noticed that you guys talked about there's 1 out of 12, and I have 1 out of 10.
Is that DCS? Oh,
Okay, so you only have 1 out of 10 on your menu?
Yes.
What model radio did you buy your radio from Kale Tom or from Peace Bridge Network?
I don't remember. It came in a blue box, and I got it very recently.
Okay.
That'd be Peace Bridge then.
There it is. 1 out of 10.
You
Let me check that part.
saying your radio doesn't have GPS location?
Yes, I have GPS location and it's working.
Okay. So let's see what 1 of 10 is. Are you running your radio in work mode, analog POC?
It says analog off. I've never known how to change that.
Yours is running. If you have POC mode only selected, you're only going to have 10 menu options.
Oh, so I should put it on what instead of that group?
So your screen is going to look like this. It's going to say analog off on the main screen.
Right. Yeah, it is.
If you're not using VHF, you can leave it that way.
Okay. The other question was, how do we get in touch with dispatch? They can leave us messages. Can we leave them messages too?
Not without queuing up your mic. We're looking to see how that functionality on text message, and currently it's one way. Dispatch can send you a message, and that's presumably because you're not reachable, so they can leave you a message and relay the information to you.
Last question is about the SIM card. Do we all need to renew every so often? How do we know? And is there an indicator here?
It's once a year, based on what Andy said. Is we're going to be maintaining those. So, yeah, it's renewed every year at the moment.
Okay. Thank you. Hi.
Hey,
Yeah. Over and out.
Michelle, you have your hand up, Michelle?
Yes. So my GPS isn't working either. And I was listening and I walked outside. I shut it off and turned it back on just to see if it needed to reset, but it still isn't showing. And it looks like how yours does. It says satellite, LON, longitude and latitude.
Yeah. Sometimes, how long were you outside trying to do that?
I was out there about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Give it a little more time. Sometimes it can take a moment, especially if it was turned on and the last acquisition of data was a state away. It's going to take a minute. It recalls the last satellite, and that's what it starts looking for first.
Okay.
So it can take it a little longer if it acquired satellites in a different location. It sometimes take a minute.
And I thought maybe it might be because I have a metal roof, and I know my dad had radios, and when he moved into his house and it had a metal roof, it kind of messed with it.
Oh, it does.
Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Michelle. Lila on Texas, you have another question? Lila on Texas.
Yes, I do. On the radio, I see three lighted green lights. And the one that I'm inquiring about, the D as in Dallas, C as in cat, and S. What does that mean? I have the W, I have the SAV, but what does the DCS stand for?
It stands for digital code squelch. That's part of that everything beneath that middle bar or that middle line on this has to do with the analog side of the radio that we're not particularly discussing tonight.
Okay. That's another question. The UFO number. Do you have a UFO number? A UFO number, that bottom number there, below that white line? I have a UFO number. It doesn't have like you do have, and look, I'm looking at your radio. You have a 400 or 474. What do those digits stand for? I have a 453 52500. That's it. What is
These
that?
right here?
Yes.
Those are the radio frequency of the channel. So VFO is, you can manually select this frequency using the arrows, or I can dial it in. if I want. This gives you the manual capability if you don't have a frequency in a selected area programmed, but you discovered a repeater that, or you want to communicate. This may answer the other question. You could use the VHF similar to like a CB radio that you would buy, an old Cobra radio going on trips with multiple vehicles. You could use VFO and select this and use the VHF side of the radio or the UHF side to communicate like CB.
Is it like a CB?
SIM
Well,
card.
Okay, got you. And another question, I'm sorry,
all
go
of
ahead.
Let me finish talking about that though. If you use this manual setting and you set two radios to the same frequency, if they don't have the same little green boxes lit up, it's not going to communicate. Because this has a continuous tone set on it. This also has, it's on narrow bandwidth. So these are different channel configuration settings for that frequency. If I go back to the saved channels, yeah, this is channel 5, it's 400.1 megahertz. I'm on narrow bandwidth. This is going to have offset, and I can't remember what the T stands for off the top of my head without going back and looking in the manual. But these are all VHF, UHF settings for the physical VHF, UHF channel that is set on, because if I switch channels, you notice they change. So those configurations changed for each channel and the frequency that you're on. So that's a
So we can use these like a CD kind of?
If you're in VFO mode, you can. So if you're in VFO mode, which to get there, you see this little red triangle that's on
the I see it.
I hit the asterisk button, you'll see it moves from the top to the bottom. That's selecting which portion of the radio that this key's working on. And then I can see the number sign, and it'll change me from save channels to VFO, which allows me to manually set the frequency. To adjust these other channels, that's a whole, you have to go into the menu and adjust those in the menu under channel settings.
Okay. One more question. Do we actually have to have a SIM card in these radios? Is it mandatory to where we have to record everything? Everything has to be recorded?
For the SIM card, or for the POC side of the radio to function, the SIM card is necessary.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Michelle, do you have another question? Michelle? No?
I do.
Okay.
I'm sorry. On my radio also, where it shows the channel, mine is in, I'm guessing maybe Chinese.
Are you talking about where your channel and it has a dash and then some Chinese characters?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
How do I correct that?
So that's going to be the channel name setting under analog settings. So if I go to analog settings, oh, I misspoke. It's going to be channel settings.
Okay.
Channel name. So right now it's showing 2. You can hit the up arrow to get in front of the number, or just delete it all and then put the number back into it. So a lot of times channel names are not just named channel 2, channel 1. Typically the channel names are going to be based on the repeater they're bouncing off of. So in my area, we have Shumpert Hospital has a ham repeater on top of it. So that's what we would name it, as Shumpert or Shreveport Shumpert or whatever. You'd name it based on the location of the repeater. That way
I'm sorry. Okay. So how do I make the numbers, because it's doing symbols?
Okay, you see in the top right corner it has ABC.
Uh-huh.
The pound sign, it changes it to up from uppercase to lowercase. Hit it again, you get numbers.
Gotcha. Okay. Great. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you notice the channel, if you look beneath channel, it's got 002 listed there. so that you can actually alphanumerically name that channel based on either the repeater call sign that it is or the physical city or parish or county you want to name it.
Okay, thank you. I yield.
Okay, does anyone else have a question for Robert Beard? Please raise your hand if you have a question for Robert Beard. Is there anything else you wish to add, Robert?
I would just say that for those that are interested in working for dispatch or APC to help further and expedite this process, reach out to either Andy or myself.
State talk around.
Sorry.
Yeah, if they could reach out to me, that way I could put you in my Proton contact list. That way when I send out the invite for the Zoom call, that I get it right to you. So if you I suppose if you have any questions about the functionality of the radio, please reach out to Robert. If you wish to participate in APC mobile dispatch, reach out to me and I'll make sure that you get the invite to our weekly call on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific. And I'll put my email in the chat again. Thank you.
Hey, Andy, may I?
Yeah, go right ahead, Kathy.
One thing I remembered is that I don't think you guys mentioned this, but I may have missed it. I've been doing some other things. The radios, if you have a cradle that you put your radio in, the newer ones have the USB-C charging device, cable. But if you have a cradle, your radio should never be turned on and in that cradle. So I just wanted to mention that. Does it say that in the manual, Robert? Because that was one of the things that I know someone had done and they really messed up the radio.
Right.
That was it. I yield.
Yeah, I thank you for bringing that up. I don't think I had that in the battery charging section, but yes, the cradles. A lot of people aren't aware that you can actually take the battery off and dock it in the cradle as well, and not have to have the whole radio in there. But definitely don't want to have it on while it's charging.
Hey, I have a question, Nancy Ventura. Well, with messing around with the radio the whole time, now mine doesn't look like that anymore. I had the Chinese symbols. Now I don't have that. I had the 400. I don't have that either now. So I don't know what happened. And I don't know what to do about it.
You didn't factory reset your radio, did you?
No. Everything else is still there. Just those things are gone. I had them before.
You talking about
all I have is
here?
analog. Yeah, I don't have any of
talking
that. Yep, and I had that before, but I don't seem to have it now.
Does it say analog off?
Yep.
Yeah, you went to work group and you went to POC only.
Okay, so how do I do it? Hit the green? You're gonna have to do it like that, please. Hit the green and then
Green button is menu. Go to work
Got it.
group, which is the green
and then
button
go to
again.
group, work group or work mode.
Work mode.
Gotcha. And then go to analog.
No, you go to mix if you
Go to
want both
mix.
of them.
Gotcha. Success. Let's see now. Now go back. Yep, it's back. Thank you. I yield.
Okay. All right.
Chinese letters though.
Robert, may I?
Please.
Yeah, just to be clear, if you guys are interested in participating in APC mobile dispatch, please email me directly, and I will get you guys an invite to our weekly training call. I yield. Thank you.
Robert?
Yes.
Okay, so since my radio wasn't looking like everybody else's, the Chinese symbols, I have those too, and I was trying to do everything you were saying, but I was in analog. I was, the analog was off. So can you walk me through that again? Because I also
Yes.
have the Chinese symbols.
Sorry. So you're going to go to menu, which is the green
Got it.
buttons.
Yep, got it.
You have to do it for each channel because this is an analog channel. So when you go to menu, you're going to go to channel settings.
Channel
and then you're going to
settings.
go down to channel name.
Channel name. Down to that. Yep. Okay. Oh, I see it. Chinese symbols and the number 6.
Right. So if you hit the up arrow, you can jump in front of the number without deleting.
Yes. Yes. And then what do I do? Oh, I was already in
Delete.
front of it. No. Okay.
You hit delete and okay. And you
Oh.
need to change your channel on the analog to the next channel, and you have to do that for everyone if you want to rename them. So
Wait, I don't know what that means. So what am I putting now that I deleted the Chinese symbols and the number 6? What do I put there now?
well, that was channel 6, so you have to put the number back.
Okay. Put it back. Thank you. Okay, I understand what to do for the next ones. But it came out a letter M instead. Do I hold it down for number 6?
Hit delete, and you have to hit the pound sign until in the upper right corner it changes to number.
Okay. Thank you. I yield. Okay, then the M.
Okay, does anyone else have a question for Robert Beard?
Got a quick one. It's David on Missouri again. If I covering what you were just talking about there, if you go down to if I go down to channel setting and select that, and I don't have a channel name, I've got a jumping frequency and it ends at steady code before I go back up to bandwidth again, the top of the channel setting menu.
So when you go to channel setting from the main, you have bandwidth, output, RXTC, CTCSS, TX. That's your squelch settings. Offset setting, channel name. You don't have channel name at all.
No, mine goes from offset setting to jumping frequency. And then steady code, excuse me.
Interesting. What version of firmware do you?
Let me go back here.
That's going to be under radio info.
Settings, radio info, right?
He just received his radio, Robert, probably less than a week ago, right?
Yes.
So it should be a newer one.
Let me see here. I was trying to get the radio info. There it is. Select and then go down to module version, or is that software version?
Software.
Okay. 8.01.04. Yep, that's the same. That's what mine looks like. Yep.
And yours says APC EKTF on it?
Absolutely, yep.
Interesting. I have my email in the chat. Can you email me your information? I'm gonna have to get with the manufacturer on that.
Okay, yeah, I think I plugged it in here. It's Robert at beardconsulting.us.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Robert.
Huh?
Robert, excuse me, you said that I would have to change it for each channel, but I only see one, channel 6. That's it. That's good?
No. Once you go and change that channel name, you're gonna have to go back to your main menu, main screen, and change the physical radio channel in order for it.
And how do I do that, please?
Go back to your main channel screen like I have here.
I am. Yep.
So hit the up or down arrow.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay.
Because when you go to channel settings, that's the channel that it's affecting. So.
Gotcha. Very good. Thank you. I yield.
Mhm.
Okay. Setting. Oh.
Any other questions? Dwayne Wan?
You
Yeah.
have a hand up, Dwayne.
Yes, I know. I didn't hear my name called. I was wondering, on the 4G network, if you have no bars, that could be the reason why GPS is not showing up. And I noticed you have all bars, and that could be the reason why none of the militia from Louisiana is showing up. Because I know a few on this call, which probably has we all have our phone, our radios on. For our radio to work, we need all bars on our 4G network to be working, right? We're having bad weather right now, so that could be a reason. Well, I am anyway.
So I see Boyd Adams is on right now, and 138 I think is Sean, their commander. Nobody
Yeah.
else is showing online.
Yeah. Well, my radio's on, and I don't have any bars on my 4G right now. And
Right.
also, like when I click on group, I don't get anything, and the button underneath group, I don't get anything. So we need a 4G network to be at least one bar to have any functionality, right?
Well, if your radio show an APC number and a
Yep.
default group?
Well, it's not right now. It's also saying a registration failed when I turn it on, so
Okay.
it's not initializing that it's on. Like with that little voice saying.
Registration failed is a couple things. Can you send me an email with your radio identifier? How old is your radio?
I don't know, about maybe 6 weeks, 2 months.
Okay. We'll have to check it in the department platform to make sure it's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have another question. So what channel should we be keeping it on? Does it matter?
Well, for the purposes of your assembly, if you're involved in your assembly, I would keep it on your assembly. It's kind of a personal preference. Once the system's live and fully built out, it's not really going to matter what channel you're on as far as day-to-day business, because if dispatch, you're going to hear it.
Very good. Thank you. Yields.
Dana Nixon?
Hello. I'm just trying to figure out the UTC time zone.
Yeah, I don't know those by heart. You'll have to, a quick Google search will tell you which one you're in.
Central's
Okay.
-5.
Okay, thank you. So Eastern would be either 4 or 3, right? Or 6 or 3.
Should be 4.
6.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and that'll have to be adjusted when daylight saving time hit, by the way. So, because they don't have that. All right. Anybody else? let's see, make sure. Well, thank you guys. I apologize for speeding through this. I knew it was going to take a while, so I didn't want to take questions in the middle of it. It's also while we're recording it, you can go back and replay it. And if you haven't downloaded the manual, I know Mr. Andy has put it in the chat. Please download it. If you see things that are typoed or whatnot, I've been working on that between midnight and 4 a.m. seems like, but so I apologize if there's typographical errors. But Kathy, thank you for bringing up the charging in the cradle. I forgot to put that in there.
Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. You guys did a great job. This will be a good run through for the next training. But I think you guys should have another one, and that accommodates more of the East Coast. We'll do it a little bit earlier, because
Right.
live is so much nicer because you can ask questions.
Right.
The recording will be very valuable. But yeah, it's always nice to ask questions. But you guys did a great job.
Yeah. So we're also probably going to create some just straight up video content that shows how to set the channel and configure it for a specific repeater. But those will be individual, kind of like all similar to this, but it won't be question asking. So
Yeah, I can upload those on the PKTF YouTube channel where we have the training replays, and there's a bunch of Louise has her resurgence videos, but I can put a section in there for the radios, and then if you do different small segments, of how
Right.
to get rid of the Chinese writing or whatever, you can name it, and then we can just load them. So there's just different snippets of
Right.
quick
Well,
information. Yeah.
It'll just be a playlist. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
well, all right. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you guys for joining. The more people we have on the team, the faster this thing can get built out and we can all be live. So more so than we already are. Let's put it that way. All States Talk Around is functioning, working. But I know that Michigan is off to the races already. Working on Louisiana's platform in tandem. So, and then Florida, we have a few individuals that are helping with that already. So that's going to be our next one as well. So. Mr. Gall.
Hey, David Gall.
Yeah, Robert, maybe you could just let everybody know what your call sign is.
Yeah, my call sign's APC 151 currently. Which
okay.
Yeah, that so I think somebody asked, how do we know who's contact who? Kenny on Michigan and I and some other individuals, we are working on a call sign standard to utilize across the APC platform, so that one, the states and sub-assemblies or sub-departments of those states will have a ubiquitous call sign, if you will. So if it's in Michigan, they're going to use the same format as Texas. It's just going to be different state letters within their call sign. And we're also working with Joe at PKTF with authentication methods, so that dispatch knows they're talking to somebody they're supposed to be talking to versus some bad actor or a rogue agent. So there's a lot of stuff going on at Tandem that we're working on. So the more help we can get, I encourage y'all to take Andy's invitation up and help if you can.
Okay, we're going to call it good. Robert, you're good?
Yep. I'm good. I don't have anything else.
Hey, thank you, Robert, for all your hard work and getting this set up and getting this information for the manual. And I'm thankful that you were referred to us. And I look forward to seeing you guys on our next training call. And we're going to put those out on a bi-weekly basis. So it'll be 2 weeks from today. And we'll make it a little bit earlier for the folks on the the East Coast and Central Time. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Well appreciated.
Thank you so much, fellas. You guys did a great job.
Thanks. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Great job, everyone.